Dreams communicate through images, sensations, and movement. These experiences often appear strange or fragmented, but the patterns inside them are rarely meaningless. When the same types of scenes return across weeks, months, or years, the repetition points towards something unspoken. The subconscious does not forget. What doesn't get processed during waking life finds another channel, and that channel is often sleep. Many of the symbols people encounter while dreaming carry direct reflections of internal states, emotional, mental, and energetic. In this video, we will examine 12 specific messages that consistently show up in people's dreams. These messages are hidden only in the sense that they remain unrecognized. Once seen clearly, they reveal exactly what the inner mind has been trying to express. 1. Running in dreams equal avoidance in reality. Running dreams often begin with urgency. The legs move fast, the heart races, and a sense of pressure builds behind each step. These sequences are usually driven by a presence that never catches up, yet never disappears either. This motion is symbolic of mental or emotional avoidance. Something important waits behind you, the runner. Not a threat, but an unresolved reality. The longer it remains untouched during waking hours, the more often it shows up at night in the form of motion without destination. Dreams involving running tend to repeat when important truths remain ignored. The direction matters less than the act itself. The running reveals the delay. It expresses a need to finally turn around and face what has followed silently for too long. 2. Falling equal loss of control in your waking life. The sensation of falling during sleep carries a direct connection to stability. These dreams emerge when foundations begin to feel uncertain. Often, the external structure remains in place while the internal sense of control begins to slip. Falling does not occur slowly. It comes without warning and with full surrender of direction. This quality reflects an emotional or situational imbalance. The message is not about failure. It reflects the distance between responsibility and capacity. When falling recurs in dreams, it signals a shift that wants attention. Something in the current experience has grown too heavy to carry as it stands. The drop illustrates the weight that needs to be released before a deeper kind of damage forms. 3. Teeth falling out equal powerlessness and unspoken words. Teeth symbolize structure, presence, and voice. When they loosen or fall during dreams, the image often speaks to issues of communication or self-expression. The mouth becomes the location for what cannot be said during the day. These dreams often show up when pressure builds around an idea, a boundary, or a feeling that has been consistently held back. The loss of teeth reflects a breakdown in expression. The words remain inside and the structure begins to erode. The intensity of these dreams varies with the intensity of the silence. The more deeply something wants to be spoken, the more likely it is that the dream will bring the body into the message. The cracking is not destruction, it is release waiting to happen. 4. Being chased equals suppressed trauma surfacing. Chase dreams involve pursuit without resolution. The figure behind may remain unclear, but the pressure always increases. This experience points directly to internal material that remains unresolved and active. What follows in the dream is not a stranger. It reflects a part of the self that holds memory, discomfort, or pain. The chase reflects a push from within, a movement toward awareness that has not yet been integrated. These dreams continue when the relationship with the suppressed material remains distant. The more clearly the figure appears, the closer the mind moves toward acknowledgement. Once that part of the self is recognized, the pursuit typically ends. 5. Unfamiliar places that feel familiar equal past life echoes. Some dreams contain spaces that have never been visited in waking life, yet they feel strangely known. The rooms, streets, or landscapes appear detailed and emotionally charged, even though no memory connects them to the present. This type of familiarity often points toward impressions stored in unconscious memory. These could stem from early developmental experiences, ancestral transfer, or, as many traditions suggest, memory from other lifetimes. The location feels lived in because something inside has connected with it already. When these places appear repeatedly, the message often relates to unfinished resonance. Something within that environment feels aligned with the current life state. The dream reactivates it as a way of making the connection visible again. 6. Repeating locations equal loops you haven't broken yet. Dreams that return to the same setting again and again signal that a particular pattern in waking life remains active without change. The rooms, cities, or spaces are not literal. They symbolize an emotional or behavioral structure still running in the background. These environments often carry a mood more than a plot. The person moves through them without true progress. The location becomes a mirror of an internal cycle that hasn't shifted. Each return confirms that the structure remains in place. This message gains strength through repetition. The more frequently the dream returns to the same place, the more urgently the waking life calls for review. The setting evolves only when the inner system begins to choose a new response. 7. Meeting the same stranger equal a guide you keep ignoring. Strangers in dreams often carry symbolic weight. When the same unknown figure appears across multiple dreams, their presence typically represents a source of knowledge the conscious mind has not yet integrated. These figures do not always speak, and they rarely behave dramatically. Instead, they observe, gesture, or stay close. Their role is not to impose information, but to reflect it. They exist as stable elements within an otherwise shifting landscape. The repeated presence of such a guide means that a message is available. The dream presents them again and again, not for recognition, but for readiness. When the emotional system becomes capable of receiving what they offer, the interaction usually shifts. 8. Being trapped equal your soul screaming for change. Dreams of confinement, being stuck, locked in or unable to move, highlight a condition where the emotional or existential life has outgrown its current shape. These dreams show the mismatch between the internal state and the external situation. The sensation of being stuck often matches waking areas where change has been delayed or feared. A job, relationship, belief, or environment may no longer support growth, and the dream builds physical pressure to reflect that restriction. These dreams increase in intensity when action remains postponed. They are not warnings. They are expressions of stored momentum. The message grows louder until movement returns in waking life. 9. Flying equal temporary freedom from your ego's grip. Flight in dreams typically arrives with emotional lift. The body feels light, unrestricted, and expansive. This experience reflects access to a deeper sense of self, one that does not depend on surface personality or structure. Flying dreams appear most often when the conscious mind becomes quiet enough to allow other layers of awareness to come forward. These layers carry connection, memory, and intelligence that are rarely acknowledged during ordinary life. The quality of the flight often matches the quality of inner trust. When fear or control returns, the flight ends. But each time the experience arrives again, it brings confirmation that something essential remains present beneath the surface identity. 10. Waking up right before something important happens, equal fear of truth. Many dreams build toward a moment, a sentence, a discovery, an arrival, only for the dreamer to wake up seconds before it completes. This interruption is often triggered by internal resistance to a deeper layer of truth. The structure of the dream serves to guide the person toward a hidden understanding. As the scene nears revelation, the emotional charge builds. If the conscious system perceives the message as disruptive or overwhelming, the session ends. This pattern does not block growth permanently. It signals that the internal timing is still aligning. When readiness increases, the dream continues further, and the moment eventually completes without interruption. 11. Doors you can't open equal paths you refuse to walk. Closed doors in dreams are rarely barriers placed by external forces. They represent available directions that remain unchosen. The dream brings them forward again and again to indicate that movement is possible. Often behind the door lies a shift in role, purpose, or identity. The hesitation to open it speaks to a cost. Something meaningful may need to be left behind in order to step through. That fear creates delay, even when the direction feels right. When these doors appear consistently, they invite attention rather than action. The path does not vanish. It remains available until the emotional system becomes ready to walk it fully. 12. Water equal your emotional state. Water appears in dreams in many forms: lakes, oceans, bathtubs, rain, and in each form, it carries a reflection of the person's emotional condition. The texture, motion, and color of the water provide specific signals. Still, clear water suggests alignment and space. Flooded or muddy water points to confusion, overwhelm, or emotional storage that remains unprocessed. Drowning indicates a threshold being crossed. Emotions are no longer being held and the system moves into response. Water rarely hides its meaning. Its state within the dream matches the internal state of the person. The more directly it is observed, the more accurately the message becomes visible. If you have made it this far, let us know what you think in the comment section below. For more interesting topics, make sure you watch the recommended video that you see on the screen right now. Thanks for watching.